So good morning, everybody. My name is François Pacaud. So today I will present a talk about LPs. So I'm coming back to the basic. I think you all know what the LP is, like the basic linear program with linear constraints. And the idea is how can you solve like a batch of LPs in parallel on the GPU. So this is a joint work. Actually, what I will present is mostly done by Mikhail Klemkin. So he couldn't come today, so I'm giving the talk, but I give much credit to him, so to say. But I also work with Alexei Roxel on Sungo, who just arrived. So this part is part of a broader work on how to adapt the existing optimization algorithm to work on the GPU. So if you want to have a full list of what we did, you can go on this website, matsuite.org. It should be available if you have access to it, you hold on any network. So it's a short presentation. Be reassured about that. We can go to lunch fairly soon. Just to give an idea of where we are at with batch LPs. So this is what I mean by a batch LP. I suppose I have a set of given parameters. So I define theta k as my parameter. So I consider a cost, a right-hand side, and a Jacobian matrix, or a constraints matrix, depending on what you want to do. And I suppose I have capital N different parameters, right? So for each k, I have a given cost, a given right-hand side, and a given constraints matrix. And I want to solve for each k, again, going from 1 to n, the following LP. So I want to minimize a linear objective subject to linear constraints. For each LP, so each LP is decoupled, of course. I can say that each k is a scenario, for instance. I'm in stochastic programming. For each k, I have a solution. So what I do at the end is I gather all the solutions into a matrix that I call capital X. Okay. So of course, you have plenty of applications for that kind of batch optimization problem. So most instances are in parametric programming or stochastic optimization, but it's also useful for energy studies, or more recently for optimization layer. If you want to embed your LPs in a neural network, you want to solve them in parallel, of course. So how to solve this problem? So we want to solve all the LPs in parallel. So you can do that on the CPU. You should just take any optimization solver, let's say Hive, because we want to stay open source. And you just thread the solution, right? So on each thread, you launch a Hive instance, and you solve the problem using the best algorithm available in Hive, so simplex or IPM. That's the way to do it on the CPU. On the GPU, it's a bit different, because you want to stay as much as possible. You want to use your memory bound on the GPU. So you want to cache as much as possible on the memory of the GPU. And you want the solve to happen contiguously in memory. So you won't use multi-threading, but you will use the SIMD parallelism available on the GPU. So to do that, it's a bit more complicated than using threading on the CPU. So we have two algorithms to solve that kind of LPs on the GPU. So the first one is PDLP, of course. The first order method, which work quite well to solve this kind of problem to medium accuracy. But here we want to focus on second order method because we want accurate solution. So if you want to use second order, so I consider the simplex algorithm to be a second order algorithm, but it's very hard to implement the simplex on the GPU. So instead we will use the interrupt method because it's very easy to solve the linear system we have inside the IPM with a batch linear solver, right? So that's what we did in MadIPM. MadIPM is just an open source solver to solve large-scale LPs on the GPUs. So first we developed with Alexei and Sungo a first version of MadIPM that was not batched. And then Mikhail came and said, hey, you have a good solver, so maybe I can help you to develop a bad version of MadIPM. And that's what Michael did in the recent month. So at the input, as I showed you before, it's exactly that. I have a capital N given number of LPs. And MadIPM is doing classical IPM stuff, right? Do some pre-processing, to remove the redundant rows and stuff like that, to do a proper scaling, applying the Ruiz scaling algorithm, blah, blah, blah. You get a given curated LPs, and you solve all of them in parallel on the GPU, right? So, and you get different convergence for all the Azure instances. So depending on the cost and vector you can converge to these vertices, to this vertex, to this vertex. You can get everything, right? And the algorithm is quite simple. So at each iteration of the IPM, you assemble your KKT system. You factorize it So right now we are using CUDSS. It's a linear solver provided by NVIDIA, which is actually quite efficient. And once the matrix is factorized, we can solve for the descent direction. So we get delta x, delta y, delta s. Or we just apply a fraction to boundary to stay strictly feasible during the iteration. And we proceed to the next iteration. And we stop as soon as we have converged. So I think if you are familiar with IPM, you recognize the classical IPM algorithm right there. The only difference right there is the IPM is working entirely on the GPU using CUDSS. So we just replace the classical solver using IPM with a GPU accelerated solver. And we make sure that everything runs on the GPU. So we don't have any memory transfer between the host and the device because everything is hosted on the device. And once you have converged, you stop the algorithm, and you move the solution back to the CPU so the user can read it, exploit it, and stuff like that. So here, all the solutions are the same, but just my picture right there. Of course, you can get different solutions on different vertices. And you do some post-processing to unscale the problem and to recover the original problem. So that's what we did with MadIPM. MadIPM is exactly that, right? Nothing fancy. It just we run on the GPU. So a few discussions on how to get a performance solver on the GPU. So of course, pre-processing is key, but it's also the case on the CPU, right? You have to scale the problem appropriately. You have to do some heavy pre-processing before, because otherwise the IPM just won't converge at all. So we have different algorithms for the pre-processing. I mean, we are using open source package for pre-processing for IPs. So the key for the performance then is data should be contiguous in memory. So across the different batches, I mean, the data from one problem should lie right next to the data from the next problem. So that way you avoid messing up with the cache of your GPU. And actually, it's very important to get efficient performance. And the next step, of course, is, I mean, most of the time in IPM is spent inside the linear solver. So here we are lucky to leverage NVIDIA's CUDSS, which gives quite fast performance for our kind of application. I mean, sometimes it works very well, sometimes not. But most of the time it works decently, I would say. And CUDSS can solve all the linear calculated system we are solving right there. So in the factorization, in batch. So it's perfect for us because we want to solve everything in batch. So the code is in Julia, so we have some cost to do that. So Julia is not as fast as C. And we have some small overhead. So we expect to have a 2 times factor compared to an efficient implementation in C. But I think it's good enough. So for instance, we have some small overhead from kernel abstraction. So that's one of the bottlenecks in the algorithm. Any questions so far? Then I can move to the result. So what I do, so I have a capital N number of scenarios, right? Capital N is the size of my batch. So I start with capital N equal to 1. So that means I solve 1 LP. I consider some large-scale LP instances from Maplib, right? And I just compare different solvers. So here it's a classical performance profile. The higher, the better, right? So what we observe here, so we solve just 1 LPs, right? We just have 1 scenario. So in red is MadIPM, and I compare MadIPM with Gurobi, running on the CPU with multiple threads, with Hive, running also on the CPU with multiple threads, and with CUopt, which implements the PDLP algorithm I was referring before. So I solve all the problem to 10⁻⁶ in terms of accuracy. So what we observe here is, actually, MadIPM is the fastest solver on 60% of the instances. So we are able to beat Gurobi on that kind of application, but I mean, it's not that impressive, in fact, because if Gurobi, most of the performance is coming from CUDSS, so if Gurobi switch to CUDSS, I think they will be able to match the performance we are offering right there. So now I increase the number of batches. So here it's capital N equal to 1. Here is the solution I get with capital N equal to 8. So actually, here, Gurobi gets better for some reason. It looks like the GPU is not as fast as we can expect. I mean, I would have expected MadIPM to get better as we increase the number of batch, but it's not the case. So here, MadIPM is better only on, let's say, 30% of the instance. That's a conservative estimate. But we are slightly more robust than Gurobi because on some instance, Gurobi reached the time limit we set. I think we set a time limit of 15 minutes out of my memory. And now I move to capital N equal to 128. Here I solve 128 large-scale LPs in parallel on the GPU. Right. And here, we got more or less the same performance as Gurobi, except we are slightly more robust because Gurobi is, again, reaching time limit more often than as we do. So it's still unclear how do we compare with Gurobi, so it's still a work in progress. I mean, we are planning to publish a paper about that quite soonish, but we still have to work a bit on the conclusion. But here is the result we get so far. So this is for large-scale LP instances. So if you consider instead small-scale LPs, the results are quite different, actually, because you can actually put way more problem on the GPU, because everything will fit in memory, and you will get much better performance on the GPU. But if you work in the industry, like I do, you are interested into real-world problem, and most of the problems are actually quite large-scale. So a few challenges I would like to address to the community. The first is, okay, so I want to solve problem in batch. The problem is how to make that user-friendly, right? Because it doesn't make any sense to have the fastest optimization solver on Earth if nobody can use it. So we are actually thinking a lot about that. So Michael has developed a new package called batch quadratic models to specify all the data to MadIPM, except it's very difficult to use batch quadratic model. I mean, it requires some advanced knowledge of Julia on GPU and stuff like that. So instead, we would like to plug MadIPM in batch in exa models, a modeler we are currently developing with Sungo and Alexi and others, and also in Matop interface, because that's where most of the users are, right? I think most of us are using MOI and Jump, right? So Michael has developed a new package called batch interface to specify a batch LPs, right? So the problem is you want to specify all this data corresponding to the scenarios in an easy way. So we are still unclear about what syntax we should use. So right now we specify the parameter. I mean, so P is more or less the theta I was specifying before, using this syntax, BOI.batch parameter. And here we plug all the values that can be taken by P. So we still have to make sure that it works well if the data are vector instead of scalar and stuff like that. And we are still brainstorming a bit about that. So I would be happy to discuss with you on how to improve the interface to the user, if you are interested into that topic. The second topic is more mathematical. I mean, it's more for the people who are more familiar with IPM, is how to leverage the LP structure. I mean, by the LP structure, I mean, we know that if you solve the LP with IPM, the central path has a given structure. So here so Michael has developed a very nice website. So if you want to have a look, it's lpvs.net. And you just specify a small LP in 2D. And the website just plots the central path you can get using an IPM. So of course, for each vertex, so here I change the cost of my problem, but I keep the feasible set intact. So for each cost, I can converge to a different vertex in my polyhedra, right? So what you see is, of course, you know that the solution is the problem is not degenerate, so you know that the solution is at a vertex in your polyhedra. So of course, the different central path will converge to different vertices in your polyhedra. But here you can observe that all the solutions are clustering around the same value, right? So that means that here you can get in your global matrix solution, capital X, you can get only like 1, 2, 3, I mean, as many solutions as you have vertex in your problem. So if you generate your data in a structured way, it's very likely that actually the solution you will get from the different solve is low rank, meaning you don't have many different solutions that you can find. And the question is, how can we exploit this low rank structure efficiently, directly in IPM? Maybe we can adapt, instead of doing like a basic solve and we solve everything brute force, maybe we can adapt directly the IPM algorithm to adapt to the structure across the different central paths, if we look at the different scenarios. So it's still an open question. If you have some thought about that, I will be happy to discuss that with you. So that's a work in progress. I think it's doing well. We have some good results compared to Gurobi. It's still unclear what are the conclusions. I mean, I'm not saying that the GPU is faster than the CPU. I'm not saying that Julia is faster than any other language. I just show you the result. And now I'm open to discuss about that. I mean, if you're not convinced, feel free to tell me if you are convinced. So I would be happy to have positive feedback. Thank you.